Hello traders, welcome to this morning's Bitcoin and cryptocurrency technical analysis. Now I've been away for the past few days, had a bit of a break from the charts, so I just wanted to get back into things and just to explain again the bigger picture on this before going over some of the shorter time frames and some of the altcoins that I'm looking at currently. So right now with Bitcoin, we can see we are still hanging out around this 57K area, okay, 57K down to kind of 56K region that we've been in for basically the most of the last week. So when I went away last Thursday, price was exactly where it is now. So not much has changed. We did have a bounce initially from that first touch down towards that 55,600 region, got a bounce back up to 60K, saw these lows taken yesterday morning, and we were able to trade that within the trading room yesterday morning that we did with the crew membership. Again, had another bounce and still just hanging out around here. But let's take a look at the context of this. So this is your global point of control. What it also is we're just sat below these major monthly and weekly levels on the chart here from our previous distribution before we did get that big move down. So for me, the more we hang out around this area and the longer that Bitcoin's price stays within this area, the more likely to me it is that we do see a break to the upside and that it turns into something more accumulative like we saw down here at 40K. When everyone was looking for 36, 37, we were looking at 40K, we were buying that, and it's very similar to what we're seeing right now. I think the majority of the market, and yes, it could happen, there is probably a fairly decent likelihood that it can still happen, this move down to 52K before we do see this as getting a reversal afterwards. However, the longer we're here, the more likely it is, for me at least, that we do see this break to the upside. Now, the reason for that is that you tend to need to have aggression and panic within the market in order to send prices down significantly. And this is another fairly big drop. Now, what this range has done here is very similar to this 40K range and very similar to what it was around this here, is it's bored most people out of the market. Open interest has been coming down with this move in general, and it just doesn't seem like there is the enough either people trapped in long positions or enough kind of buying the dip going on for this to need to go down any further right now. But we'll see how it pans out. I have been buying this, so I was buying these lows both last week and yesterday. So very happy to buy this area. Not really kind of in any in leverage trades off of these, but it's very similar to what we were doing around that 40K. Is yes, this could go lower, but I think the probability is favoring again a move higher on this chart. So we'll just have to see how that does pan out over the next few days. I think we're going to be more or less seeing this range probably until the end of the month at this stage. It would be nice to reclaim the monthly level and the weekly level by end of month. I don't know why I've got a daily open here on my chart. Let's get rid of that. But it would be nice to reclaim those levels by the end of the month. But I do foresee this kind of staying in a range for a while, and again, I can go over some reasons for that. So this is just basically that bigger picture. Okay, we're coming back, we're testing the global point of control. This is the initial high before our big distribution started. Okay, so this is where most people, like myself included, a lot of the big players in the market, they got out. Initially, that was our first kind of euphoria peak that we had with that, not blow off top, but it had a very significant pullback from this high, and everything after that was distribution in order to get these lower prices down here to reaccumulate and then see if this can create a second market cycle, which at this stage will be going well onto next year if this does hold and go to the upside during December. So yeah, let's bring things down onto the lower time frames. Okay, and we can see on the 4-hour chart here, this has been just generally kind of nice range bound price action. Okay, so you did have the swing failure pattern of these lows yesterday. We did see those get taken out. We price came down and like touched it on the, what was it, the Monday night, got that bounce, but didn't actually take the lows apart from on the few US dollar USDT perpetual contracts. So it had to come down again, take out those lows, got a nice bounce off of that. And now we've just come back this morning to test this new daily level that was formed from this chart. So again, zoom in here. Here's your daily level. Here's your daily open up here. We've come down, tested this daily level, and then we have our daily open right on that global point of control, which has moved from basically being around here to now being up here since this price action. So our global point of control has shifted up slightly. That could be problematic if price cannot reclaim that and stay above that level. The fact that the point of control is there and it so far has been holding, but now that's shifted up. Be different on all exchanges, but we just have to be aware that there is significant resistance above right now within this region of around 57,500. So let's go back onto the hour. Okay, so we can see here testing this daily level, and looks like this probably would have some quite nice confluence if we do pull our fibs with the golden pocket here. Okay, so as always, put on your golden pocket. There's your fresh daily level. There is your golden pocket, and that is the resistance that or the support that we're currently seeing. Very similar with the bounce yesterday, coming straight into your 618 exactly before getting that pullback here. Then what else do we have to look at on this chart? So we do have this trend line coming down, so we do have to be aware of that. Again, this supports the idea that the longer price stays down here, if we're not going to see a breakdown this week, I do quite strongly believe that we're going to see a break to the upside. Okay, the moving averages are coming down on price. The trend lines are coming down on price. Your speed fans are coming down on price. So you can pull your speed fan from your high up here down to maybe these lows, and this will give you your speed fan resistance. Golden pockets all the way up here, so it's not really relevant at this time. Okay, so this does still support that idea that we could remain range bound for quite some time here. And if we do just pull up a bars pattern back from these previous lows before we had obviously a move up, what we're seeing here is something quite similar. Okay, so you're coming up from fairly high, we're putting in this little pattern at the lows here, so this could realistically very easily continue until the end of the month. I wouldn't be surprised at all. This is actually taking a bit longer this time than it did when it was here last time, within kind of a similar accumulation structure, so we'll have to just see how that goes. And yeah, this kind of what I'm thinking on this price. What else do we have? So TPO. Okay, so we know we did have that 80% setup from the TPO itself. Now this wasn't on the market settings on Bybit, but we did have a really nice move on the TPO, so you could see acceptance back within yesterday's value area, a move straight down into the value area low, and now currently seeing this resistance here on the previous day point of control, which is sat at 56,800. So you have support at the daily level. Okay, very important support at this daily level at 56,500. And you have resistance at 56,800 point of control. Now, whichever, it's a very narrow, like you zoom all the way in on this, and it's a very, very narrow range here. But you would think that, okay, as soon as one of these breaks, you will get some continuation. Okay, either down to take out these lows if we do lose the daily, or if we do regain that point of control, then we can expect to test back up towards the daily open and the global or yearly point of control just above it. Okay, so we also have this session VWAP currently acting as resistance. So previous day point of control and session VWAP right above us, so very important for the price to reclaim that if we are going to see higher prices today. So that basically wraps up Bitcoin. Okay, there's not a whole lot going on this chart. Again, I think range bound for a while, continue to play the range. I don't see this breaking. I don't see this breaking this week, but we'll have to wait and see. If it is going to break this week, probably down. Okay, it needs that time to accumulate. Okay, if people are going to want to accumulate this lower, it's going to happen sooner rather than later. Whereas if this is going to be a longer term accumulation, and this can stay here until the 28th, 29th, towards the end of the month, I would strongly see, okay, what's the point in sending this down any further when you've had plenty of time to accumulate here? Next move should be up from that stage. Okay, let's take a look at some of the altcoins just very briefly. Okay, we all know Ethereum had a really nice move up yesterday, but we're right on this weekly level. Okay, we're just bouncing between these high time frame levels. So Ethereum currently at resistance. I think we'll probably come up a little bit higher on the ETH BTC pair before seeing a pullback. Again, we had this zone of support. We're currently stuck just below that previous all-time high from back in May. Okay, so we're just below that area. This could be printing some large head and shoulders pattern if we have trouble here. So if it revisits down to these lows, and Bitcoin's pretty bearish as well, that would give you a pretty big head and shoulders pattern, and then you would expect to move down towards kind of $3,400 down towards that monthly. I would expect would be a decent area on this. But overall, yeah, resistance is very clear. It's that previous all-time high, and the support I'm happy to buy within this green zone, and I have been accumulating again within this green zone on Ethereum. Litecoin, nothing much. Okay, resistance, what it had the opportunity to hold as support has now flipped into resistance, but let's see if it can just kind of form some kind of consolidation here, and then we'll see if it can either break up or down. A lot of this will depend once again on what Bitcoin does. I don't really need that, or yeah, that can stay on my chart, I guess. Link, dot's one that looks really nice. Okay, so dot looking like a nice accumulation down at these lows here. And a lot of this stuff, again, a lot of the altcoins, I do have a list of altcoins, so I have started to chart basically everything in orange is stuff that I think looks good, and we're approaching the ends of an accumulation phase. CRV already had that big move up. Dot ICP, for example, at lows of range, within a really nice area of support and looking likely that they can get a good bounce going on here, but with time still being a very important factor. There's no need to overtrade this. We're going to get a lot of chop. What I'm seeing across the market is a higher time frame reaccumulation of a lot of assets, especially the one that I've been listing here, and this repeated and repeated. I do see these going on for at least another few days before we see any major moves on a lot of the stuff that I'm showing here. More likely another week or two before we do see proper moves up or down from these charts. Everything else here is stuff that has potential as well, really good potential. So FTM, one that I was looking at yesterday, we did have a move down into a really nice area of support, got a good bounce off of that. ERS looking fairly decent, and yeah, it kind of goes on. Okay, one looking pretty decent here as well. XLM, another one that does look like another phase of accumulation that's going on here. So that's basically the market. Okay, I'm just scanning through the low caps, nothing really doing very much. Alluvium, it's just unbelievable. So the first time you have a dip, it comes down to that first level of support, just our first high time frame level, and absolute insanity after that. So yeah, happy days. Had an opportunity to buy a bit more Alluvium down here. Just very, very, very strong, and doesn't really seem like it wants to pull back at all. TLM's another one. So a lot of these metaverse gaming wave 2 kind of things well in progress. And some of the other, these were on low caps because when I bought them they were low caps. They're certainly not anymore, but we're seeing a lot of things like within this ZCX ecosystem still having that pullback, but again looking like it's finding support around these areas here on a lot of these charts. But again, I can update if and when necessary on this stuff. It's not really, this stuff isn't that interesting to me right now. It's going through its pullback, and there's other plays in the market, mainly the metaverse stuff, looking really good right now. So yeah, I think that wraps everything up. Zcash doing things nice. Yeah, cool. So thank you for watching. I will update later, but yeah, happy trading. Enjoy the rest of the week. Enjoy Thanksgiving. I'm sure I'll see everyone before then. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you soon. Cheers. Bye.